from today, you're going to be in a meaningfully different place than you are right now. The question is, which direction? Most people don't decide. They just keep doing whatever they've been doing. And the year drifts them somewhere, usually somewhere similar to where they started, or slightly further along the same path that wasn't quite working. And here's the truth. The shape of the next year of your life is determined by a small number of decisions you'll make, deliberately or by default. Not big dramatic decisions, small ones. Decisions about how you spend your evenings, how you respond to drama, how you treat the people around you, how you handle these small, uncomfortable moments that come up dozens of times a week. Each decision is tiny. Cumulatively, they reshape your life. You see, most people focus on the big decisions and ignore the small ones. They think the big career move, the big relationship change, the big purchase will be what shapes the year. Usually it isn't. The big decisions get made under conditions that were set up by the small decisions. The small decisions, made consistently for a year, are what produce the conditions under which the right big decisions become possible. Today, I want to walk you through 10 of those small decisions. None of them require dramatic life changes. None of them require more time, more money, or more talent than you already have. All of them are choices you can make today and then keep making every time the relevant situation arises. Over a year, the cumulative effect of all 10 produces a life that the no-decision version of you couldn't have built. By the end of this, you'll have a clear list, 10 small decisions, each one starting today, and the year ahead becomes the year your life finally moves, not because anything dramatic happened, but because you finally chose deliberately in the small moments for 12 months in a row. Now, before we get into the 10, you must understand what living without making these small decisions has been costing you. Because most people don't see the cost. They don't make these decisions, so they don't know what they're missing. The cost is invisible. It shows up as the absence of things that would have been there if you'd been deciding. Here's the truth. When you don't make the small decisions, they get made for you by your habits, by your environment, by the people around you, by whatever pattern was running before you would have intervened. And the pattern that runs without your intervention is usually the pattern that's been producing the life you're not satisfied with. So letting it continue by failing to make the small decision is choosing to keep producing the same life. You see, every small situation in your life has a default outcome. The drama in your family will continue if you respond to it. The relationships in your life will stay shallow if you don't deepen one. The conversations will stay performative if you don't drop the performance. The hard calls will stay unmade if you don't make them. The default is the no decision outcome. And the no decision outcome over a year is essentially the same year you had last year. But here's what most people don't see. The small decisions are where your agency actually lives. The big decisions feel weighty, but they're rare. The small decisions happen constantly. Every day, dozens of them. And every time you don't decide, you've decided to keep running the default. By the end of a year, you've made tens of thousands of no decisions, each of which kept some small pattern in place. The patterns that should have shifted didn't, because you never intervened at the moment they could have shifted. You must take this seriously, because the version of you who finally starts making the small decisions deliberately in 12 months produces a life that the no decision version of you literally couldn't produce in a decade. Every single day, the patterns that took root because you didn't decide are the patterns that have been organizing your life. Interrupting them with deliberate choice in the small moments is what actually changes things. 10 decisions, each one specific, each one available to you in situations that arise multiple times a week. Today, 10 of them. By the end, you'll know exactly which choices you've been making by default. And you'll know exactly what to choose instead, starting tomorrow, in the next dozen small situations that come up. Number one, you must decide today to stop responding to drama you didn't create. Because most people are getting pulled into drama daily. That has nothing to do with their actual life. Family conflicts they got dragged into. Work disputes they have no stake in. Social tensions among people they barely know. The pulling in feels involuntary. It isn't. There's a decision point each time, and most people aren't making it consciously. You see, drama recruits. It always has. Somebody else's conflict presented to you asks you to take a side, to weigh in, to respond. And the social pressure to respond is real. You don't want to seem cold. You don't want to seem like you don't care. You cannot let this continue. So you get pulled in, dispute by dispute, and your weekly emotional energy is eaten by other people's situations. Here's the truth. The drama you didn't create is not yours to solve. Most of the time, your involvement does not help. It just adds another voice to a situation that already had too many voices. Your withdrawal, on the other hand, models a quieter way of being that often de-escalates the situation while protecting your own energy for the things that actually matter to you. The fix is to install a default response. When somebody brings you drama you didn't create, you listen briefly, acknowledge their feelings, and decline to take a side. You don't have to be cold. You can say, "That sounds hard. I hope you all work it out." Then you move on. The drama does not become your drama. The energy stays with you. Over a year of running this decision, the amount of mental energy you've reclaimed from other people's drama is enormous. You have bandwidth for your own life. You have space for your own work. You have presence for the people who actually need you. And the drama around you settles down a little because you're no longer feeding it with your attention. Next, decide to apply one simple filter to every spending choice. Would your future self 10 years from now respect this purchase? Not approve of it. Respect it. Look back at it and think, yes, that was a reasonable use of resources given who I was becoming. You see, most spending decisions are made by your present self, with no input from any other version of you. The present self wants what feels good now. The present self has limited patience. The present self does not always think about consequences. And the spending pattern that results is the pattern your present self alone would create, which is rarely the pattern that produces the life you actually want. Here's the truth. The future self filter changes a lot of decisions. Not all of them. Some purchases are still going to be present. Self-purchases, coffee, an evening out, a small treat. That's fine. But the larger purchases, the upgrades, the impulse buys, the lifestyle inflations, these are the ones where the future self-filter produces different answers than the present self-default. You must install the question. Before any spending decision above a certain threshold, pick your number, maybe $50, maybe $200. You ask yourself, would my 10-year future self respect this? Not in detail, just briefly. The question takes 10 seconds. The answer over time reshapes your entire financial life. What you'll find is that some purchases pass the test easily. Some fail clearly, and some are borderline, in which case you delay the decision for a day or two and see if the desire holds. Over a year, The cumulative effect of running this filter is a substantially different bank account, with substantially fewer impulse purchases, and a substantially better relationship between your spending and the life you're actually trying to build. The filter is simple. The discipline is small. The result over a year is the kind of financial trajectory that the no-filter version of you couldn't have produced in 5. Next, you got to decide which one relationship in your life you're going to invest in deeply this year. Just one. Not your family in general, not your friends as a category. One specific person, partner, friend, sibling, parent, whose relationship you'll prioritize, deepen, and tend to over the next 12 months. You see, most adults maintain a wide social network with no real investment in any one piece of it. They have 100 acquaintances and 10 friends, and they touch each of them lightly, and none of the relationships actually deepen. I am telling you, the breadth feels like richness. It produces a kind of relational poverty, lots of contact, not much depth, no one specifically near. Here's the truth. Depth comes from investment, and investment requires focus. You cannot invest deeply in 10 people simultaneously. You can in 2 or 3 at most. And usually the best practice is to pick one relationship per year and put extra energy into deepening that specific one while maintaining the others at their current level. The fix is to pick the person today. You must sit with the question, which relationship in my life would benefit most from a year of more deliberate investment? Often the answer is somebody you've been close to, but haven't truly tended in years. A parent, an old friend, a sibling, somebody whose relationship has been on autopilot when it could have been so much more. You must, for the year, make decisions in favor of that relationship. You call when you wouldn't have called. You show up when you'd usually decline. You ask the deeper questions. You stay through the harder conversations. Over a year, the relationship has deepened in ways that surprise you both. But here's the gift. The deepening, once established, lasts for decades, even when the focused year is over. Pick the person tonight. Make the first move tomorrow. The year is long enough to reshape the relationship completely if you actually invest. Most people never pick. You can be different. Next, you have to decide to stop performing in conversations and just be present. Because most adults in most conversations are not actually in the conversation. They are performing a version of themselves. The witty version, the smart version, the impressive version, while the actual conversation happens somewhere outside the performance. You see, the performing is exhausting. It takes mental energy that could have gone into actually listening. It takes attention that could have been on the other person. And it produces conversations that feel hollow. Because nobody's really being themselves. They're being the version of themselves they think they should be in this context. Here's the truth. I am telling you, the conversations that actually nourish you are the ones where you stop performing, where you said the awkward thing, where you admitted you didn't know, where you let the silence sit, where you were just there as yourself with another person who was also just there as themselves. Those conversations are rare in adult life, and they are the ones that produce the relationships that matter. The decision made deliberately and run for a year is to drop the performance in as many conversations as possible. The first attempts will feel weird. You'll feel exposed. You'll worry about how you're coming across. Stay with the discomfort. The conversations on the other side of dropping the performance are the ones you've been quietly missing your whole adult life. You must keep coming back to it. You won't drop it perfectly. Some conversations still pull you into performance mode. That's fine. But every time you notice, you can choose to come back. Over a year, your conversations have changed. The shallow ones happen less. The real ones happen more. And the people you spend time with are people who are also looking for real conversation, who finally found it when you stopped performing. The decision is small. The cumulative effect on your social life after 12 months is enormous. Next, decide that whenever you're trying to figure something out, a problem, a decision, a tangle of feelings, you write it down instead of just thinking about it. You cannot solve real problems in your head alone because thinking by itself runs in circles. Writing breaks the circles. And the act of putting your situation into words on paper is what produces the clarity that pure thinking almost never produces. You see, most adults try to solve problems in their head. They think about the issue. They turn it over. They run the same considerations through their mind again and again, hoping the answer will come. You cannot expect it to. It doesn't. Because the mind is good at noticing things, but bad at organizing them. The organizing happens through the act of writing, which forces sequence, structure, and language on what was previously a loop. Here's the truth. 10 minutes of writing about a problem produces more clarity than 10 hours of thinking about it. Because the writing makes you choose specific words, which forces specific framings, which surface things that the looser thinking would have skipped over. The writing externalizes the problem, so you can see it from outside instead of being inside it. The decision is to install the practice. Anytime you're stuck on something, a decision, an emotion, a relationship issue, you grab a notebook or open a document and you write about it for 10 minutes. Not journaling in the daily sense. Problem writing in the targeted sense. About the specific thing you're trying to figure out. Every single day of running this practice, you'll have written your way through dozens of situations. Each one becomes clearer for the writing. And cumulatively, you become somebody who solves problems instead of somebody who circles them. The capability, once installed, is permanent. The decision was small. The capacity it produced is enormous. Next, you got to decide to leave social gatherings before they get stale, because most people stay too long. The energy peaks somewhere in the middle of the gathering and then declines. The conversations get repetitive. The interesting people leave first. The remaining time is spent in the diminishing return phase. And then you go home exhausted, having spent twice as much energy as the gathering was actually worth. You see, the social convention is to stay. Leaving early feels rude. Leaving when the energy is still good feels strange, like you're missing out on the climax. So most people stay until the energy is bad, and then they leave. And they take the bad energy home with them, which colors the next day. Here's the truth. The best move is to leave when the gathering is still good, before the decline. You take the energy with you instead of having it drained. You sleep better. The next day is better. And paradoxically, the people you spent time with remember the gathering more positively because you left while it was still alive instead of contributing to its decline. The decision is to install an internal signal. When you start to notice the energy beginning to fade, you go. You don't wait for somebody else to start leaving. You don't wait for the obvious exit cue. You make your own exit while the gathering is still good. Polite goodbye. Quick exit, home before the decline. The first few times you do this, it will feel slightly transgressive. People will notice. Some will mention it. You have to not worry about it. By the third or fourth time, your friends know. You leave a little early. You stay sharp. You're somebody whose energy is protected. Over a year, you have been to dozens of gatherings without ever crashing afterward. The energy you've protected has gone into the things that actually matter. Next, you must decide to be the first one to address tension or discomfort in any room. The person who names what others are avoiding. The person who asks the question nobody else is asking. The person who acknowledges what's actually going on. This is one of the most transformative single decisions a developing adult can make. You see, most rooms have tension. Family dinners, work meetings, social gatherings, conversations between two people. There's almost always something not being said, a frustration, a question, a discomfort, an obvious issue that everyone is pretending not to notice. And most people, most of the time, choose to maintain the pretense, to not address it, to not be the one who breaks the silence. Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He was in his early 40s, competent, smart, well-liked, quietly stuck. He had been at the same level professionally for years, and his relationships, while pleasant, had a sameness that suggested they weren't really growing. We spoke about it, and one of the things we discovered in the course of our conversation was that he was uniformly avoiding tension. In every room he entered, when something needed to be addressed, he waited for somebody else to address it. Usually nobody did. The tension stayed. The conversation stayed surface. The relationship stayed pleasant but shallow. I asked him to try something for a year. In every room where he noticed tension, he was going to be the first one to name it, not aggressively, gently, with curiosity. Something like, there seems to be something going on here that we're not talking about. Is that worth addressing? Or, I notice we keep coming back to this. Can we look at it directly? The phrasing varied. The move was the same. Be the one who breaks the avoidance. The first few times, it terrified him. He felt rude. He felt presumptuous. He felt like he was overstepping. He did it anyway because he had committed to trying. And what he found was that the rooms changed. The tension once named almost always dissolved or got addressed. People relaxed. The conversations got real. The relationships started moving in ways they hadn't moved for years. At work, the same thing happened. The meetings where he had been the quiet, competent one became meetings where he was the one who said what others were thinking. He noticed himself being listened to in a way he hadn't been listened to before. He noticed being included in conversations he had previously been left out of. A year in, he told me, the single decision changed everything. Not because I became more aggressive or more vocal, because I became the person who would name what others were avoiding. People treat that person differently. They bring you their hard things because they know you'll engage. They listen to you in important moments because they know you'll say what needs to be said. You became the person people brought hard conversations to, which made you the person who got listened to when it mattered. His career moved that year. His relationships deepened, and none of it was because he had developed new skills. It was because he had made one decision, sustained for 12 months, to be the first one to name what was actually happening in any room he was in. The decision was small. The cumulative effect on his life was enormous. Next, you have to decide that every Sunday evening you make one phone call you have been avoiding. Just one. The hard call. The one that's been sitting on your list for weeks. The one with the difficult person. the unresolved issue, the conversation you've been postponing because it would require something of you that the easier calls don't. You see, most adults accumulate a backlog of unmade hard calls. The relative they should reach out to, the colleague they need to follow up with, the friend they've been ducking, the doctor's office they haven't called, the disputed bill they haven't resolved. Each call on its own is small. The accumulated weight of unmade hard calls is enormous, and it sits in the background of your life, taking up mental space, generating a low-grade unease that never quite goes away. Here's the truth. The Sunday evening decision is the practice that clears the backlog. 1 call per week, 52 per year. By the end of the year, you have addressed 52 things that had been quietly weighing on you. The cumulative relief is substantial. And the practice of making hard calls becomes easier with repetition until it stops being a special thing and starts being a normal capacity. You have to keep it simple. Each Sunday evening, you look at your list. You pick one hard call. You make it. You do not rehearse for an hour. You do not put it off for a few more days. You make it now while you have committed to making it. If they don't pick up, you leave a message. The point is the action, not the perfect outcome. Over a year, you'll have addressed 52 things that were avoiding you. Many of them will be easier than you feared. Some will be harder than you expected. All of them will be off your list, finally. And the version of you who handles hard calls weekly instead of avoiding them indefinitely is somebody whose life has noticeably less drag on it than it did a year ago. Next, decide that you read for 30 minutes before bed every night instead of watching entertainment, because the last input of your day shapes your sleep, your dreams, and the first thoughts of the next morning. And the difference between ending the day with a book and ending it with passive entertainment is enormous, accumulated over a year. You see, most adults end their day with the most low-effort input available: television, radio, mindless watching. The brain ends the day having been fed something that produced nothing: no learning, no reflection, no quiet, no building of any capacity. And then sleep happens in that state, which is why so many adults wake up feeling like they haven't really rested. Here's the truth. 30 minutes of reading before bed changes the entire shape of the evening and the night. The brain has been fed something with structure and language. The transition to sleep is calmer. The morning starts in a different mental state. And over a year, the cumulative effect is 180 hours of reading you wouldn't have done otherwise. Substantial books, multiple subjects, real intellectual nourishment. You got to install the swap. Whatever you've been doing in the last hour before bed gets replaced in part with 30 minutes of reading. You can still watch something earlier in the evening, but the final 30 minutes before sleep go to a book, any book. Fiction, nonfiction, biography, philosophy, whatever you want. The category matters less than the consistency. Within a month of this practice, you'll notice your sleep is different. Within 3 months, your morning state is different. Within a year, you'll have read 15 or 20 books that the no-decision version of you would never have read. And the input from those books, slowly, quietly, will have changed who you are in ways you didn't anticipate when you started. This decision is one of the cheapest in this whole list. 30 minutes, every night, no cost, substantial return. And the practice, once installed, lasts the rest of your life. Next, you must decide that every single month you ask one specific question of one person who's ahead of you in some way that matters. A mentor, a senior colleague, a wiser friend, somebody you respect. One question. Specific, carefully chosen, and asked once a month, every month for the next year. You see, most adults stop asking questions of mentors after a certain age. They feel they should know things already. They don't want to look ignorant, so they figure things out on their own, slowly, sometimes wrong. And meanwhile, somebody they know, sometimes somebody they see weekly, has the answer, would freely share it, but is never asked. Here's the truth. The right question, asked of the right person, can save you months or years of figuring out something yourself. And the right people are usually willing to answer. They remember when they were where you are. They're flattered to be asked. The question costs you nothing but a moment of feeling vulnerable. The answer can change the trajectory of whatever you're working on. You have to install the monthly question. The first of every month, you pick one person and one question. The question is specific, not what should I do with my career, but how did you decide between option X and option Y when you were at this stage? Specific enough that the answer can actually help, not so vague that the answer is a platitude. You got to send the question by email, by message, by phone call, whatever fits the relationship. Most people will answer. Some won't. Either is fine. You move on to next month's question with the same discipline. Over a year, you'll have asked 12 specific questions of 12 people ahead of you. You'll have gotten 10 or 11 thoughtful answers. The accumulated wisdom is substantial. I am telling you, the relationships with these mentor figures will have deepened. They remember the people who asked good questions. The decision was small. The compound effect on your professional and personal trajectory is enormous. So here's what I want you to carry with you. 10 small decisions, each one available to you starting tomorrow. None of them require dramatic life changes. All of them run consistently for 12 months. Reshape your life in ways the no decision version of you couldn't have produced in 5 years. Stop responding to drama you didn't create. Spend money in ways your future self would respect. Invest deeply in one relationship. Stop performing in conversations. Write down what you're trying to figure out. Leave gatherings before they get stale. Be the first one to address tension. Make one hard call every Sunday evening. Read 30 minutes before bed. Ask one specific question of one mentor figure each month. You must pick 3 to start. The 3 that hit hardest when you heard them. You must install those 3 tomorrow. Run them for a month. Then add 3 more. By the end of 2 months, you've got 6 running. By the end of 3 months, all 10. The integration is gradual. The compounding starts the moment you start running them. Here's the truth. The year ahead of you is going to be shaped by something, either by the small decisions you make deliberately or by the small defaults you let run because you didn't intervene. Every single day, the shaping is happening regardless. The only question is whether you're the one doing the shaping. I am telling you, this is one of the most underrated upgrades available to adults. Most people will spend the next year roughly as they spent the last one. The ones who don't, who make these small decisions deliberately, day after day, produce a year that doesn't look anything like the year they would have had on default settings. You can be one of those people, starting tomorrow, with 3 of the 10 decisions installed, Every single day matters. The first day will not feel like much. The second day will not feel like much. By month 3, you'll start to notice things changing. By month 6, the changes will be undeniable. By 12 months, you'll be in a meaningfully different life than the one you're living right now. The decisions are small. The year is what it is regardless. The shaping is yours to do. Do it, starting tomorrow, with 3 decisions chosen tonight, and then keep doing it every day for the 12 months that follow.